matrena damodara prasidati. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gaurattushe namaha. He Krishna karuna sindha dina bandha jagatpate Gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta namostute Tapta kanchana gaurangi radhe vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu sute devi pranamami hari priye Bhaktya vihina parana lakshay kshiptasya kamadita rangamadya Kripa maitam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanarindam Bhajami radha maravinda netram smarami radha madhura smitasya Bhajami radha karuna varatnam tato mamanyasti gatir nakati Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my sister Anandavat Pranam, Thavatam Gaur Siddha Shri Paramadhadam Guru Parapadma Om Vishnu Par Stotra Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev. Secondly, I offer my sister Anandavat Pranam, Thavatam Gaur Siddha Shri Rupanu Gauri Guru Bhakti. I offer my sister Anandavat Pranam to those who are Vaishnava and Vaishnava. Beginning with our reading of Sri Navadipam Mahatma, Chapter 3, Mangala Charana. Jaya Jaya Navadipa Chandra Sachi Sutta Jaya Jaya Nityananda Haraya Avadhuta. All glories to Sachinandan, the moon of Sri Navadip. All glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the Avadhuta. Jaya Jaya Shri Advaita Prabhu Mahashaya Giridhari Shivasa Pandita Jaya Jaya. All glories to Shri Advaita Acharya. All glories to Shri Giridhari Pandit and Shivas Pandit. Jaya Jaya Navadvipa Dhama Sarva Dhama Sar Jai Dham Saha Gaur Chanda Avatar. All glories to the holiest of all holy abodes, Shri Navadvip Dham. Shri Gaurachandra descended together with this Dham. Beginning of the description of the pastime places within the 32 miles Navadvip Dham. Shola Kroshan Navadvipa Madhya Jaha Jaha Bhatnivo Ekona Bhakta Gana Shunota. O devotees, I will now describe the different places within the 16 koshas Navadvip. All of you should listen. Rivers flowing through Shri Navadvip. Shola Krosha Madhya Navadvipara Pramar Shodasha Pravaha Tata Sada Vidyaman. 16 rivers are situated eternally in the 16 koshas Shri Navadvip Dham. Mula Ganga Purva Tire Dvipa Chatushtai Tara Paschime Sada Pancha Dviparai. 4 dvipas or islands exist eternally on Ganga's eastern bank, and on her western bank are 5 islands. Swarduni Pravaha Sabha Veri Dvipa Gane Navadvipa Dhame Shobha Deya Anukshane. Swarduni Bhagavati Bhagirati Ganga flows encircling all these islands, thus eternally increasing the splendor of Shri Navadvip Dham. Madhya Mula Ganga Devi Rahe Anukshan Apar Prabhahe Anya Punya Nadigan. The original Ganga Devi always flows through the center of Navadvip Dham, and many other rivers who purify the world flow here and there throughout Shri Navadvip. Gangara nikate bahe Yamuna sundari Anyadhara madhya Saraswati vidyadhari. Beautiful Sri Yamuna Maharani flows with Bhagavati Bhagirati Ganga next to the western bank. And the presiding goddess of learning, Saraswati, flows within another stream. Tamraparni Kritamala Brahmaputra Yamuna Purvabhage Dirga Dharamai. In the eastern part of the Yamuna, the strong and swift rivers Tamraparni and Kritamala and Brahmaputra flow. Sarayu Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Gomati Praste Vahe Godavari Sahadruta Gati. Sarayu, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, Gomati and other holy rivers to purify this world flow with mighty speed together with Shri Godavari. E Sabadhara Paraspal Koriche As separate currents, these rivers divide into 9 parts. Prabhura Itcha Kabudhara Shushka Hoy Puna Itcha Hoylo Dhara Hoy Charan Hoy. According to the Lord's desire, these rivers sometimes dry out and then again become filled with water. Prabhura Itcha Kabudhube Konostan Prabhura Itcha Puna Deyata Darshan. According to the Lord's desire, a place will sometimes become immersed in water and then again give darshan. Niravani Rupa Dhama Lila Kare Bhagyavan Janaprati Sarvakal Spure. Although the Dham continuously performs pastimes in this way, it is always manifest for the most fortunate person. Utkata Vasana Yadi Bhakta Hriday Hoy Sarvadvipa Sarvadhara Darshana Milai. The devotee who has a strong desire within the heart to behold these rivers will attain darshan of all the islands and rivers. Kabu Sapne, Kabu Dhyane, Kabu Drishti Yoge, Dhamana Darshana Pai, Bhaktira Samyoge. This kind of devotee will sometimes attain, by the help of his devotion, a vision of the Dham in dreams, sometimes in meditation, and sometimes even directly with his eyes. In other words, throughout Navadip Dham, the 16 rivers are eternally flowing there. Every day when we do Achman, before we do Acham, we do the Tirtha Abahan Mudra. Tirtha Abahan Mantra. We call the Tirthas into the Achman cup. What do we say? Gangesha Yamuna Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhi Guru. All of these rivers please become present in this water. But they said Sindhu Adi Jalesmin. Adi means and more. Means all these different rivers that I mentioned. These are all holy rivers flowing throughout Bharat, India. And they are eternally present there in Srinavadip Dham. But according to the desire of the Lord, sometimes they are visible, sometimes they are covered. Sometimes they are dry, sometimes they are flowing with water. And a devotee who has deep desire, then he may have darshan of these rivers. In his spurti, his heart, his meditation, in a dream, or even with his own eyes, he may directly see these. Even today, if you go, you can see that how when you go to Navadvip, there we are in Koladvip. That is the western side of Yamuna, of the Ganga. So on the western side. So there you can see that the water is one color on the east bank and one color on the western bank. When it is all white, it is like Ganga. And where the water is dark, it is like Sham, it is like Yamuna. And when you go up, in between Godrum and Mayapur, here on the boats, you will see the river again will change color. You will see that there are different rivers there, flowing there. So, on the western side, there is Ganga is there. The eastern side, it is Yamuna. Western bank and eastern bank. And it's described in the Bhagavatam. Actually, most of these holy rivers, they're all manifestations of what? They're manifestations of Ganga actually. From Ganga is manifested as all these different rivers. Kaveri, Sindhu, all these different Narmada, they're all actually expansions of Ganga Devi. Lots of them. Most rivers, they are manifestations of Ganga in some way. The Ganga will disappear into the earth, then thousands of miles, anywhere different places will spring up from there. It's the power. Therefore, you hear Ram, for instance, when he South India, he wanted to tilak with his arrow, he'll pierce the earth and Ganga will manifest. Many places like that, or he needed water. Also in Navadvip Dham, different places, Ganga has manifested there. Different places. So, in Puri, Mahaprabhu, in Paramananda as well, Paramananda Puri as well, the well got contaminated. Then Mahaprabhu came there and did Sankirtan with devotee and Ganga manifested in that well and it became pure. And Gurudev took us there, he said, anyone who takes this water, they will definitely be guaranteed they will get Krishna prema. And which day you take the water of that well, and the water of that well is very pure and clean. Ganga Devi is manifesting everywhere. She is supremely pure. Padita Pavani Ganga. And he said that the younger sister of Ganga is Yamuna. And Yamuna is directly Vishakha Devi herself. And Yamuna Devi is considered to be most fortunate. Therefore it's that Gangari Tirtha Panisevita Pada Padmam Golokya Sokha Rasapura Mahim Mahimna Aplavita Akila Sudha Sudalam Sukabdo Radha Mukunda Muditam Yamunam Namami. All Tirthas like Ganga and others, they serve the lotus feet of Yamuna Devi. She has special friendship with Radha and Krishna. And she's not, her water is not water, but it is flowing nectar. She's always pleasing Radha Mukunda in so many ways. Yamuna Devi is a very special place. Therefore, Ganga Devi, she did austerities. She saw that Yamuna had the fortune that directly Radha Krishna is sporting in her waters. I also want this fortune, that I may also accept this service, perform this service. Perform tapasya, austerity, then Sachinandam Gaurahari himself said, I will come and I will descend, and I will bathe in your water. Then, indeed, then Yamuna Devi, she heard that Mahaprabhu himself is directly going to come there in Navadvip Dham. Radha and Krishna combined, they're going to perform his pastimes there. Then Yamuna requested Ganga, please give me also some place here in Navadvip Dham. I also want to witness these pastimes. Then Ganga Devi gave place to Yamuna Devi. Yamuna is manifested also. And when Sachinandam Gaurahari sported in the waters of Ganga, then Ganga became equally fortunate like Yamuna. So, the glories of... And then Ganga Devi herself, she performed austerities. And she entered into Braj also, took part in Radha Krishna's leelas. She's here in the form of what? Manasi Ganga. Manifest directly from Krishna's mind. There in Govardhan. Now it is just a pond, lake, restricted. But Manasi Ganga, at that time Krishna's leela was a flowing river. And that same Manasi Ganga is also manifest there in Navadvip. So Ganga Devi, she is actually a Sakhi, eternal Sakhi of Radha and Krishna. In Vaikuntha, she is there as a queen. She is an eternal consort of the Lord. But in Braj, she actually takes the shelter in the form of a gopi. When the Brajvasis, they wanted to go to Ganga Sagar. Sab tirtha bar bar, Ganga Sagar ek bar. Said you go to all the tirthas throughout your life so many times. That's okay. But just one time you only need to go to Ganga Sagar. Ganga Sagar is the place where Ganga meets with the ocean. Very holy place. There Kapil Muni's ashram is there. That is where the 60,000 sons of Sagar Maharaj came to Kapil Muni's ashram looking for the horse. Ashram where the Indra had stolen. And they came there and they disturbed Kapil Muni and he burnt them to all the ashes. So, then this Bhagirath, then his descendants, the descendants of Sagar Maharaj, they wanted to liberate all these sons of Sagar Maharaj. So then they performed austerity. I forget who was the original, but there was a few. Dilip and one or two. Then it came to Bhagirath Maharaj. Then Bhagirath Maharaj, by his austerities, then he brought Ganga into this world. And then led them all the way there to the place where the Kapil Muni's ashram is, the ocean. And all those descendants, all his forefathers were delivered. Therefore, nowadays even everyone goes to that place and they offer pinda, they offer oblations to their forefathers to liberate their ancestors. That place. So, the Brajbasis, they wanted to go visit Ganga Sagar. The custom in India, on which day? Makara Sankranti. The day when the sun begins to change its course and begins to enter into the northern hemisphere. The sun is rotating. Sometimes it's going towards the southern hemisphere, and then sometimes it's moving towards the northern hemisphere. So basically it's going like up and down like this. Like a wave, you know. Some 6 months down, then it goes up, then it hits a peak, then it comes down again, then it goes up, down like this. The movement of the sun. You can read the 5th canto of Bhagavatam. There, the 5th canto of Bhagavatam describes the universe, all the different the luminaries. There describes how Jambudvip is like Bhulok. Bhulok is, you have 7 upper planetary systems, 7 lower planetary systems. Starting from Bhu means earth. Then Bhuva, the residence of the forefathers, Swa, Sarga, then Maha Lok, Jana Lok, Tapa Lok, Satya Lok, Brahma's Lok. Above Satya Lok is Dhruv Lok. Then you go down, you have Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahadal, Rasatal, Patal. These are 7 lower planetary systems. So then, divided like this. So it describes, the Bhagavatam describes the universe like that. And then, it's like all 14 planetaries, you can call the 14 planes, they are all situated where? In the lotus stem of Garbhoda Kashaya Vishnu. The universe is described to be like a golden egg, shaped like a golden egg. Mahavishnu, he is in the causal ocean. That is the border between the material and the spiritual world. And he's lying there. And he's meditating. In Yoga Nidra. Then as he breathes out, unlimited material universe emanates from his skin pores. Just like you have many skin pores in your body, and you sweat, then sweat comes out of the skin pores. So, similarly also, Mahavishnu from his skin pores, he's like sweat. All these universes, they come out of his body. Everywhere, all directions. Unlimited material universe, you cannot count them. And they come there for the duration of his breath. Breathes out. Just like we know. No. Yeah. Then, when your breath hold for a bit, then you're breathing in. And then again you hold. And then breathe out. So when that slow moment when Mahavishnu is holding his breath, that's when all the universes are stable. And again, when he breathes in, then they all come inside his body. And again, they come out of his body. And during that time, they're coming in and out, they are destroyed. Only when the time when there's, for one split, half a second or 1 second, when he's holding his breath, the in between the breaths, that is when the universe is stable. That, for Mahavishnu, that time is nothing, but for us, the universe himself, there are billions and billions and billions and trillions of years. How influential? There's no time influence there. But by the desire of the Lord, He inserts time into the universe. Time. And with His glance, He inserts the jivas also directly into the universe. according to the karma of the jiva, then he inserts the jiva into the specific births of the jiva, specific bodies, like that, into the universe. Also, and then it's also said that Jivadhan will describe like this. But also to describe the jivas, one kind of jiva he emanates from the body of Mahavishnu, and according to his free desire, then he may look towards the Lord and enter into the direct service of the Lord. If he looks towards Maya, then he becomes engrossed by Maya. It's called the Tatastha jiva. Tata means the line, the border. Sta means to be situated. Tatastha jiva. Jiva is tatastha by nature, by tatastha shakti. The example is given like when the ocean, look at the water of the ocean, when the water hits the shore, that fine line where the water and the shore meets, that is called tatastha. It is so fine you cannot actually determine where the sea ends and where the land starts. The wave of water is always moving. The wave may come, it reaches one area and then it goes back. You see, it's very hard to determine actually where the water is. It's kind of, you have to generalize, it's the shore. You take like a larger view, but you cannot, to define a specific line is very difficult. So the jiva is tatastha, he's situated in that consciousness. Tatastha is not a location, you should understand. So that it's a physical location, the jivas, they're there and they enter, they're going here or there. Tatastha refers to the consciousness of the jiva. And he described like a fish in a river. Big fish is moving, sometimes going to this western bank and then it's going to the eastern bank. One side to the other. Similarly, the Tatastha jiva, his nature is that sometimes he is situated in Maya, sometimes he is situated in spiritual world. Sometimes he is looking towards Krishna, he is serving Bhagavan, sometimes he is turning away. But the jiva, when he enters into the material world, he becomes nitya baddha, eternally bound. He is bound by his action, his karma, his material desires. And for one day from one species of life to the next. There is no way out of the jiva. But by some great fortune that jiva comes in contact with devotion to the Lord, and his desire to serve the Lord increases, faith develops, then he will come in contact with the sadhu, and then by following this instruction of the sadhu, he will come onto the path of salvation or liberation, and then he will be able to leave this material world, regain his eternal service to the Lord by the mercy of that sadhu. So that Mahavishnu, he's breathing all these unlimited universes. They're coming out and they're coming in. Then what he does, when he creates all these universes, then in order to so Mahavishnu is the super soul, or the presiding deity of all the material universes. He maintains them all. But then specifically for each individual universe, then he expands himself into that universe as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And then on the bottom he lays down on Shesh, on the bottom of that universe, and he begins to sweat. His name is Garbhodakashaya. Garbha means sweat. Daka means the ocean. The Garbhodakashaya, Shai means one who sleeps. One who is sleeping on the ocean of sweat, that Vishnu. So half the universe is filled up with his sweat. That it is shaped like golden egg shaped universe, half of it is filled up with sweat. And then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is lying down on Shesh. Again he is absorbed in yoga nidra. Then from his navel the lotus stem manifests. Brahma is born on the top of that lotus. And then he hears the calm bees, the original desire seed of the Lord, the flute playing of Lord Shri Krishna. And by that desire enters him also to create. And he hears instruction from the Lord, tapa, tapa. Tapa means to austerity. He sits down and meditates and he worships the Lord in his heart, meditates, and then the Lord reveals himself. And he receives the power to then just begin creation. And then, in the stem of that lotus, then these 14 planes are created, one after another. In the middle of that is Bhumandal. Bhumandal. Like we say Ras Mandal, Ras Mandal, it's like a big area where Ras Lila takes place. So Bhumandal is greater earth. And the way that in the fifth canto of Bhagavad, the greater earth is described, that is described to be 7 oceans and 7 continents. That's how it's described. 7 areas of land. Each one successively bigger than the previous one. And in the middle is Jambudweep. There are separate description of Jambudweep in all the different varasas, all the different lands in Jambudweep are described. So it says that if Bhumandala is like a lotus, the Jambudweep is like the center of that lotus. In the center, and surrounding Jambudweep is the Salt Ocean. They said that Jambudweep is actually 800,000 miles in diameter. And the ocean, the salty ocean is 800,000 miles. That is Jambudweep. Then the next dweep after Jambudweep is Pakshadweep. That is double that. In other words, 1,600,000 miles in diameter. And then surrounding that is the next ocean. If I don't remember correctly, I think it's ocean of sugarcane juice. That is 1,600 miles. Then the next land after that, after Pakshadweep, will be, I forget all the names of the dweepas, but there's another dweep. And that is double that, 3,200,000 miles. And surrounding that is the ocean of milk, 300. And 200. That is also the same circumference of, same diameter as the land, that is 3,200,000 miles. Ocean of milk. Then the next land after that is 6,400,000 miles. And surrounding that, all sides is the ocean of yogurt, 6,400,000 miles. Then you cross over that ocean, then you get to the next land, 12,800,000 miles. Surrounding that is the ocean of liquor, 12,800,000 miles. All the problems for all the drunkards in the world will be solved. They only live on the bank of that ocean. No problem. Now imagine if you're swimming on the ocean, bank of the ocean of the yogurt. Or milk. It have to be a problem. Someone heated up the ocean and dropped some yogurt in, then it'll turn into yogurt. Someone dropped lemon into it, so many problems. Then you go beyond that, 25,600,000 miles. Next land in the ocean surrounding that, the ocean of ghee. Then 49, 50, like around 49, 50, whatever the calculation is, 50,000 miles land. And the last ocean is the ocean of the sweet water. This way, 7 continents, 7 lands. And Jambudweep is in the center. And Jambudweep described that there are different varshas. Bharatvarsh being in the middle of that. Then all the different mountains and the rivers in Bharatvarsh are described there in Bhagavatam. All different names. There Govardhan is mentioned, Himalaya, they are described to be Bharat. Then we go above Bharatvarsh and we come to Ilavritavarsh. That is a place where only Shiva and Parvati they reside there, and there all the maid servants of Parvati they reside. Anyone who enters into this varsh, if they are male, one time there was one king, he entered into the land. And that time, Parvati, she became shy. So she complained to Shiva, then Shiva said, okay, I give you the curse. Anyone who enters into this land without permission, they'll lose their gender will change. So if you're male, you enter into the land, you become female. Like that. So then therefore, everyone who enters into the land, they're all girls, they're all serving Parvati there as her maid servants. Yeah? So, then in the middle of that, Ilavritavarsh is described to be, the Bharatvarsh is described actually is the south of Jambudweep, south. And then in the middle is the Ilavritavarsh, yeah. And in the middle of the Ilavritavarsh is Mount Meru. Mount Meru is a mountain that is 800,000 miles also high. And it's the shape of what? An inverted cone. So if you ever look at the lotus flower, have you ever seen the center of a lotus? It's a cone. The top is flat, but in the bottom it's narrow. So that is the shape of Mount Meru. It's like that. It's not so thick on the bottom, but the top is very thick. So I think the top part of Mount Meru is also, again it is, I forget how big it is, but it's pretty big. So anyway, then what happens is that Ganga Devi, she's flowing from the heavens, and she's falling onto that Mount Meru, to the center of that mountain on the top. And then from there she flows in 4 directions, and she falls off Mount Meru, comes down flows into the different varshas. And one stream flows into this Bharat Varsha. Therefore it's described to be called, Ganga is also described to be known as Akash Ganga. Ganga coming from the skies. And there on top of that hill, all the demigods, they have their celestial cities and palaces. Varun, Dev, Indra, all they have their own locations there. And the different varshas that are down there, they all have their own unique characteristics. Some have huge mango tree. The mango tree is so huge, it's again like thousands of miles in size and diameter. And the mangoes are so big that when they fall from that tree, when they become ripe, the fruit will fall. So when there's ripe mangoes that fall from the tree, they hit the ground. The juice that emanates from those huge mangoes, it's like tidal wave. Have you seen this destruction, natural world destruction pictures? They say, oh, big tidal wave coming, this thing, disaster. It's like this. Currents of mango juice coming and they flow and destroying everything. They form rivers, huge rivers. And the people there who were living on the bank of this Ganga, on these rivers of mango juice, their complexion is all golden. Because they're always eating this mango, their faces are shining. There, the lifespan in Bharat Varsha is only 100 years. But there in the other Varshas, they describe that the demigods, when they when they run out of their punya, their piety, then they have to leave the heavenly planet. But when they come down to this earth planet, they first, before they come to Bharat Varsha, they get like a soft landing. They get to stay in these Varshas. And there's no disease, there's no war, there's no all these problems there, none of these things. And the lifespan is there is like very long, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, like long time. You get to stay in those Varshas, enjoy there for some time. And then, according to your karma, you have to take birth in this Bharat Varsha. And here then, in Bharat, that is when then all the real balance of all your karma and all your things, then you have to start dealing with that. You may do new karma and you suffer the reactions of your old karma. There's a tree, a jamun tree. There's different trees, and there's different presiding deities for each of these varshas. Some are worshipping Nrsimhadev, some are worshipping Varaha, some are worshipping Prithvi Devi, some worshipping Narayan Rishi. The presiding deity for Bharat Varsha, for the Bhagavatam, I think it's Narayan Rishi, but I don't remember really. And there's a specific mantra for each of these, the people of those, the residents of those lands, they chant while worshipping that deity. So, to get to the original point, so that Mount Meru is there. So, then is described that the sun is actually moving. Sometimes in the southern hemisphere, sometimes in the northern hemisphere. But what's it doing? It's circulating Mount Meru. It's called this chapter specifically that describes the Bhagavad, movements of the sun. It's going, the Mount Meru is so big that the sun, it moves away, it goes around this Mount Meru, and it's moving down and sometimes up like this, according to the time of the year. It's moving slowly up, but it's moving continuously continually moving around the Mount Meru. Or sometimes it's gaining altitude, but it's still circling. But sometimes, if it's like now, it's moving towards the northern hemisphere, so it's gaining. Yeah, moving towards the northern hemisphere. I don't exactly. It's a little bit not completely clear, a little bit tricky, but anyhow, it's moving like this towards the north and the south, and it's the same time it's circulating Mount Meru. So then it describes it that the movement of the sun creates the illusion of night and day. Why? Because the shadow of Mount Meru is so big, when the mountain is so big that when the sun goes behind one side of the mountain, then all the side of the mountain where the sun is not gets covered in darkness. What darkness? That is the shadow of Mount Meru. Mount Meru's shadow falls on the earth. And that creates the night. Then when the sun comes around again, then it's day. Not that modern astronomers and scientists, they say, oh, the globe circulates here and the sun is circulating there. They all have their own speculation. Vedic is not geocentric model. They say, modern science say heliocentric model. No. Vedic say no. The earth is stationary and the sun is moving. The moon is moving. The luminaries, they are moving. Certain planets are illuminated. And the moon is described to be twice as far away from the earth as the sun. But it's also twice as big as the sun. And the moonlight has its own unique light. The scientists, they say that, what is moon? Moon is a dead rock. And sun is reflecting on the moon. And the sunlight reflected from the moon is reflecting onto the earth. This is moonlight. But if you ever take a mirror, it reflects sunlight. And the nature of the sun that is directly taken and the nature of the sunlight that is directly taken from the mirror are the same. They're both warming, heating. But the light that comes from the moon is completely different in nature than the sunlight. It's cooling. It has completely different effects on the planets, the plants, the people, everything. It's a different spectrum of also light. It's completely different in the nature of sunlight, even scientifically. But somehow they have come to this erroneous conclusion, this foolish conclusion that the moonlight is only a reflection of the sun. It's not true. Moonlight is its own light, its own cooling light. So, and anyone who wants to go, and the sun is not like a burning ball of fire. The sun is not actually, the sun got on his chariot. On that chariot is described, there's like, I forget how many, about 50,000 rishis or something. And they're all sitting there on the chariot, they're reciting Vedic hymns for the pleasure of the sun god. He's moving around. And the sun planet itself, Surya Loka, there, has everything there. And Chandrama of Chandraloka also has everything there. And only by great piety you can go there. Prabhupada, he writes in his book, The Easy Journey to Other Planets. If you want to go to the other planets, then you have to accumulate certain piety, sukriti. Then you can go, otherwise not. And then there's a very high class of enjoyment there. And then again, time works differently there. The lower you go down in the planetary system, the shorter the time is. The higher you go up in the universe, the longer the time is. So in other words, here 1 hour of time for us here is not the same as 1 hour of time in Patal-lok or 1 hour of time in Satya-lok. Even modern scientists, they have their own theories. They say if you're moving at the speed of light, time changes. They have their own theories. So technically, if you're traveling, going at a certain speed fast enough, then there'll be a great distance of time, But anyhow, so basically in the hellish planets, you go very to the very bottom to the hellish planets, Patal-lok, and even lower to the Narak loks. Below Patal is the hellish planets, actually. There, thousands and thousands and millions of years could only be a few moments here on Earth. And here, thousands and millions of years of our time, a few moments for Brahma in his loka. Therefore, it is described 1 day of the demigods, so 1 day is equal to, I think, our 1 year here. That's the difference. Or 1 hour, 1 day, I think. That is part of it. That's only a few lokas up. Go higher, it changes even more. Everything described there in the Bhagavatam very interestingly. So, what we can perceive with our own sense perception is very, very limited. And there's so many defects. Therefore, if you want to really have darshan, you really want to see, you have to have darshan through the medium of sastra, through the medium of sadhus, the medium of the Vaishnavas. And they are perceiving the absolute reality in their heart. They reveal that through their Harikatha to us. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is revealing to us the true nature of Sri Navadvip Dham. Saying actually there are 16 rivers there. You go there, you only see one river, Ganga. And then if you look carefully, you see actually the color of the river is changing there. You see that there's actually different currents there. So you may perceive that, but how much you perceive? But actually there is described there is Panchaveni and Saptaveni, confluence of 5 rivers and 7 rivers. Like in Prayag, there are Triveni, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, they meet there. But there near outside of our mud, there, Saptaveni. There is Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Then Gomati, Manasi Ganga, Arakananda and Mandakini. All these rivers, or 7 rivers, are meeting there outside. But how will you see them? You cannot possibly see with your own eyes. But if you read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's descriptions here, for Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, Brahmaputra, Tamra Parni, Bhima, Krishnaveni, Sarayu, Saraswati, Ganga, Mandakini, Arakananda, Gomati, Godavari, all these different rivers are there. Then you can pray to the Dham. You can pray to the Lord. Chant your Harinam. Meditate. And perform parikrama there. So it may be that if you have a deep enough desire, the Navadvip Dham will be very merciful. Then that time what? Kripa kari, maya ja, utaya jagon, anki deki subisal, chinmaya bhavan. Maya will remove her covering, the net of illusion that is covering the Dham. She'll remove it, she'll remove that curtain. Like you have this curtain here, what is behind this curtain we cannot see. But if someone is to open that curtain, then what will happen? And you see the transcendental reality behind the curtain. So Maya is covering our eyes, covering the Dham. You cannot see all these rivers there. You cannot see the workings. You cannot see all the beauty of that Dham in reality. No. Emperor Akbar, he came to Sanatana Goswami. He said, I will do some service for you. Then Sanatana Goswami is like, oh, here's the emperor. I don't need any service. Like, no, he's begging, please give me some service. Okay. Go to Madan Mohan temple, there is one chip, one of the stones is chipped. Can you fix that? And he was like, what is this? I have so much wealth, I can build so many Madan Mohan temples. He wants me to fix one chipped stone. But anyway, the sadhu was telling Sanatana Goswami, okay, then he tolerated, and he was like angry, but he was okay. Then he went there. Now Maya's curtain has been removed, and now you can see the transcendental reality. Their Lordship, Panchatattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivanti, Gaur. That's easy. Just you need the mercy of a Vaishnava. 1 second, and curtain open. No problem. So Akbar, he went there to the stairs. Then he saw this little crack on a little chip on the stone. He thought, hey, what is this? Insult. I do so much. Why you want to fix it? So then Sanatana Goswami, being merciful, he thought, I will teach this thing a lesson. And he for a moment he removed the covering of Maya from his eyes. And what did King Akbar see? Emperor Akbar? He saw that staircase was made out of solid gold, studded with diamonds, rubies, emeralds, pearls, moonstone. Everything was chintami, desired stone, touchstone. He realized that even if I took all my wealth, I would not be able to repair this craft, repair this chip in the staircase. Then he realized, oh, this is the mercy of Sanatana Goswami. He has revealed to me the true Swarup of the Dham. To read Guru Darshan there, Guru Parapadma, described on Nityananda Chayodasi, he has darshan of Navadvip Dham. Yes, and he falls unconscious. And then on Gaurapunim later, again he has darshan of the Panchatattva dancing in the Dham. So, it's all by the mercy of Paramguru's mercy and Guru Paramatma. We saw all those things. So the Dham is transcendental. All of Bhagavan's leaders today they're happy in there. Adyapi say lila kore gaurai deki kono kon bhagyavan deki paretha. Any fortunate jiva can witness today how Gauranga Mahaprabhu is performing his fasting in the Dham. The Dham is Chinmaya, it is transcendental. And 7, we heard this the other day, the Saptapuri, Ayodhya, Mathura, Dwaraka, Ayodhya, Haridwar, Kanchi, Ujjain, and this Kashi, Varanasi, Saptapuri, the 7 holy cities, they are eternally residing in Navadvip Dham. All these holy rivers, they are eternally flowing there in the Dham. We heard something about the glories of performing Navadvip Parikrama there. How every step you take in Navadvip Dham is equal to 10 million ashrama relatives. If you lay down in the Dham, it is like entering into Samadhi. If you eat fish in the Dham, it is equal to eating Havishanna. If you stay one night in the Dham, then you attain Krishna Prem. One night is equal to 100 years of performing, staying in any other holy tirtha, 100 years. And so many things described, glories were described. This is the real, true nature of the Dham. It's transcendental. And here it says, Dhamera darshana pai bhaktira samyoga. By your devotion, that is by the mercy of Bhakta, through Bhakti, darshan is possible to take place. Therefore, when we read Guru Darshan, the Vaishnava are giving us darshan of Sri Guru. First, if the Vaishnava, then we can understand something about Sri Guru Maharaj, about his qualities, his love, his nature, his pastime, everything. This is Vaishnava, mercy of Vaishnava. So if you want Dham Darshan, Navadvip Darshan, then you will need mercy of Sri Guru Parvati, mercy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And you have to sincerely pray. Try to receive these things in your heart. Keep these things in your heart, pray. Then, slowly, by their mercy, then all these things will manifest in your heart in a deep way. Then he's going to describe now, step by step, all the different islands. Antardip. He'll give some general description of Antardip here, then the rules for performing parikrama. And then he's going to continue describing how Jiva Goswami Prabhu, he comes and meets with Nityananda Prabhu in Navadvip. And then Nityananda Prabhu takes Jiva Goswami on Navadvip Parikrama. This is the first Navadvip Parikrama. What? Nityananda Prabhu, along with Srivas Pandit, Mansi Bharananda Thakur, Ishan Thakur, they are going on Parikrama. And Nityananda Prabhu is describing all the places where Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes. So the first original Navadvip Dham Parikrama was performed by Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Jiva Goswami. And then after that, then other devotees began performing this Dham Parikrama. And today, according to the Padati or according to the manual here, the scriptures revealed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we perform Navadvip Dham Parikrama. Gurudev time we will go to all these places, then the sannyasi, they will carry this book in Bengali. And they will sing the glories of that place. From these different chapters, they will sing these verses. And then they will speak, they will sing, do some kirtan, and then the Vaishnava will speak some harikatha. Then after offering pranam to that place, then go to the next place. Again continue. This way, the rules will be described. You can do it in particular 5 days, 7 days, 9 days, 1 month, depending how you want. But there's time to do everything in 5 days, all 9 items. So now, this Navadvip Dham Parikrama is starting on 18th. This Gurpurnim is on 18th. So Navadvip Dham Parikrama will start 5 days before the Gurpurnim. 6 days, because then on the last day, the Gurpurnim. So basically, 6 days before Gurpurnim starts Navadvip Dham Parikrama. 1 day before that, doing Sankalpa, everything, going to Yamuna Ganga. Then 5 days, basically 1 week, you can understand. 1 week before Navadvip Gurpurnim, doing Sankalpa, 5 days Parikrama, and then ending Gurpurnim festival. And that for Gauri Vaishnava, that is New Year's for us. That is when our calendar, our New Year starts on that day. So, and being Gauri Vaishnava, Mahaprabhu's Janmotsav is the most important festival of the year for us. So the highlight of the year. It's the beginning of the year. It's the highlight. So that day also we will perform Abhishek here of Panchatattva. And that day all day reading of Chaitanya Bhagavat, Kirtan Harikatha, and that day fasting till moonrise. When Nadya Udayagiri Purna Chandra Gaurahari. Gaurachandra is the original full moon. He arose like full moon on the bank of the Ganga, Nadia. That day, Gaurachandra, he will arise and manifest in our heart. So we'll stop here today. We'll continue with our reading of the Nam Parikrama. Gaur Namananda Hari Hari Diva Jai Shri Guru Pada Padma Ki Jai Guru Parampara Ki Jai Satchinanda Gaur Hari Ki Jai Saparshada Gaur Hari Ki Jai Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Navadipdam Parikrama Ki Jai Jai Navadipdam Hatma Ki Jai Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Devaishnavinna Ki Jai Janidai Gaur Namananda Hari Hari